Hello, everyone. Hope all of you are awesome. Hope all of you are staying inside. Hope all of you are safe. Be safe. Now, let's not waste time. So, in this particular session, we'll be discussing economy and we'll be discussing important points related to economy. So, we have discussed a lot of points in the previous session of economy. This is session 2 right now. So, let's start. Let's not waste any time. And see, this is for prelims, right? So, we'll be keeping ourselves concise. We'll not be going too much into detail. That we will do when we'll discuss GS3 notes of mains. So we'll do that. So first of all, first topic for today is PMI. What is PMI? That is Purchasing Manager Index. This particular thing, Purchasing Manager Index. Now there are, see, many people whom I have shared my notes with, they have asked this particular question, whether these are PYQs or UPSC PYQs, previous year questions, or whether they are different notes. See, it is a combination of all of these things. In the notes you can see whatever there are, whenever there are PYQs, I have written something like UPSC 14, 15, 16, 17, something like that. So you will understand these are PYQs. Apart from that, there are different points when you go to the, what do you say, vision notes or Hindu or all those things, you realize that yes, there are these areas which are very important, so you note it down. So that's what I have done, and from different test series also. So first of all, PMI. PMI is Purchasing Manager Index, and it is an indicator of business activities. Understand one thing, how the question can be framed. So they can ask you, it is an indicator of business activity only in manufacturing sector or only in services sector. No, both of them are wrong. It is an indicator of business activities in both manufacturing as well as services sector. Now, what you have to understand is I will show you a PMI right now. So figure greater than 50, it indicates expansion in the sector. Whether if the figure is more than 15, let's say manufacturing sector, it indicates expansion in the manufacturing sector. Less than 50, that means contraction. Now now who publishes it? It is published by Japanese firm Nikkei along with Market Economy. Now, if you want to see how does this Purchasing Manager Index looks like and how to understand it, so I will just show you right now. So just a second. See, thing is, hope all of you can see it. So this is a manufacturing PMI, Purchasing Managing Index, and you can see from 2019 January till December 2020 or January, it is showing 49.5, 49.2. Sometimes it is going above 50. Whenever it is going above 50, it indicates expansion in that particular sector. If it is less than 50, it indicates contraction. So as you can know right now, everything is contraction in our economy. So you can just, by that, you can say that PMI for most of the sector right now is less than 50. Cool. So now let's go back to the notes. So we have done PMI and we are just seeing the most important parts of these notes. So NSSF, National Small Saving Funds, it is kept in. Now there are different questions which are asked. It is kept in, what do you say? It is a part of Consolidated Fund of India, Contingency Fund. No, it is a part of Public Account of India. DPAM, what is DPAM? Department of Investments and Public Asset Management. So earlier it was Department of Disinvestment, but now it has been renamed and it is under Ministry of Finance. Again, why I've written it? Because there are sometimes confusion whether it is a part of Ministry of Commerce or what. No, it is a part of Department of Finance. Let's talk about something called Paris Club. Now, again, what does Paris Club refer to? Or the question can be asked in this way. It is associated with economy, polity, society, or something like that. So it is associated with economy. It is a part of informal group of creditor nation. It's not a formal group like G20 or something like that. It's an informal group of creditor nations. So nations who are giving debt to others. So it is an informal group of creditor nations whose objective is to find out workable solutions to payment problems faced by debtor nations. Suppose France has given loan to Pakistan, let's say, and if Pakistan is not able to find it, so they will form an informal group, or they have formed an informal group called Paris Club. Now, if you want to see, so this is how you have to attach things. This is how you have to remember things. Paris Club is associated with economy. It is associated with greater nations. And when you will do Google, what do you say? Google. I don't know why they're showing stuff like this, dude. Maybe they have taken literally the Paris Club and they have started showing us the Club of Paris. So yes, so you know now what is a Paris Club, and the better figure for this is this one. This one is showing you the Paris Club, but again, we don't need to go that deep into detail. We just need to understand what is Paris Club associated with. So these are the countries which are associated with Paris Club. Cool, dude. No need of remembering all the names. You just need to understand what a particular term means. So Paris Club done. Again, we are just skipping certain things and we are going on to the most important things. Now, depreciation. It is important because it is basic macroeconomics. So you must have seen that NDP, net domestic product, let's say. So it is GDP minus depreciation, right? GDP minus depreciation. Or when we are talking about, let's say, NNP, net national product, it is GNP minus depreciation. So this depreciation is a decrease in the value of an asset, but There is a very big but here. Again, this but stands with BUT, not BUTT. So, but what is the basic thing? This depreciation does not take into account unexpected or sudden destruction. Suppose an accident happened and something destroyed. So that depreciation is not taken into account. So the question is, they can ask you, they can give you statements of statement 1, 2, and 3, and they can write that depreciation takes into account unexpected or sudden destruction. No, it does not. This you have to understand. Very few people know it. It does not take into account unexpected or sudden destruction or disuse of capital, as can happen with accidents, natural calamities, and other such extraneous circumstances. So this you have to understand regarding depreciation. The rest, NDP, GDP, and relationship between all these things, you should know. What is and net factor income or net factor income from abroad, NFI, and all those stuff. So go through those points. Now, as you can see, and as I have already explained earlier in the session 1 of economics, that these T4, 5, what are these terms? This I have written. See, sometimes when you prepare your GS mains 3 notes or GS paper 3 notes, so T4, 5 is, there are different terms, like there are different topics in GS mains 3 or paper 4, which is general studies 3. So major cropping patterns, and then the issue related to direct and indirect farm subsidies and all those stuff. So from there also you can take out certain stuff like micro irrigation fund and all those stuff. So I have written it here. So you can go through it. Now, right now I'm just focusing on the most important part, New Development Bank, very, very, very important. So New Development Bank is also called BRICS Bank. What it is called? It is also called BRICS Bank. And it came into existence after the Fortaleza Declaration, which happened in 2014, and Fortaleza is in Brazil, right? So, and the headquarters is in Shanghai. Shanghai and Beijing. Many people get confused with Shanghai and Beijing. So suppose this is China. Let's say suppose this is China. So Shanghai is on the coast. Here Shanghai is. Shanghai is on the coast, and Beijing is somewhat inside, right? Somewhat inside. So the headquarters of New Development Bank is in Shanghai, right? Fortaleza Declaration. And after Fortaleza Declaration, New Development Bank came into picture. And the capital, it's not like China is giving maximum capital, something like that. No, the capital is equally shared among founding members, right? Now let's see certain figures associated with New Development Bank, because when we see certain figures, we tend to remember better. So let's do that. Let's see certain figures of New Development Bank. So as we have seen earlier, that New Development Bank is also called BRICS Development Bank. Right now, the headquarters is in Shanghai, which is a coastal town. The president is KV Kamath, founder is BRICS, founded in 2014 in Fortaleza in Brazil. And shall we see certain images? Let's see certain images. So these are the images. Again, there's nothing so extraordinary about these images. Fine. Cool, dude. KV Kamath, 2014, Fortaleza, right? Shanghai. These are the keywords associated with New Development Bank. So do remember it. Now let's move on to the other important parts. Again, you can understand what we are trying to do. We're trying to, what do you say, divert our attention to the most important areas. Interim budget, no need. Now, payment bank. See, the thing is, payment bank, small finance bank, what are these banks? These are kind of niche banking. This is a part of something called niche banking. Niche banking means banking catering to a specific section. So payment banks, they cannot accept, or they cannot issue credit cards, they cannot issue loans, they can accept deposit up to only 1 lakh. Right? These are good facts. These are facts which we know. Most of us know, but this fact you generally don't know if you have not read it. That they can also act as banking correspondents of other bank. So this is an important part of payment bank, that they are niche bank. They can accept deposit up to 1 lakh. They cannot issue credit card. They cannot issue loans. But apart from all these fundas, they can also act as banking correspondents of other bank. So if you want to see certain payment bank, Airtel has their own payment bank. Right, there are different payment bank. India Post. So let's try to see certain payment banks. So we have talked about that they can accept a restricted deposit, which is currently limited to 1 lakh per customer, which can be increased further also. That's what they are saying. But whenever it is increased, we will, what do you say, refresh our data. So Airtel, Paytm payment bank, and all those stuff. So we have, what do you say, India Post has also come with their payment bank. So again, remember, this is a part of niche banking. This is an important term. Niche banking means banking catering to a specific section. Niche, this I wanted to write N, but I don't know what I did here. So it is a part of niche banking. Cool, dude. Let's not waste time. Let's move ahead. So niche banking done, payment banking done. Now let's talk about priority sector lending. Again, a very important area, a very neglected area, and the area which we forget a lot. So I will try to teach it in a such a manner that you can understand it, or we'll just go through it in a such a manner and we'll see certain facts also. So understand regarding priority sector lending, it is also said PSL. So PSL, the full form of PSL is priority sector lending. Now there are two different types of lending. First is for scheduled commercial banks, SCB, scheduled commercial banks, but this excludes RRB, that is regional rural banks, and small finance bank. So the rules for this SCBs and foreign banks with more than 20 branches, or more than or equal to 20 branches. So it is greater than equal to. This is very important when you will read quantitative aptitude. So foreign banks with more than or equal to 20 branches, so they have this criteria to cater to. 40% of adjusted net bank credit, whatever for net bank credit, suppose they have 100 rupees at adjusted net bank credit. So, and you do understand, adjusted net bank credit is calculated after, what do you say, computing the CRR, SRR, and all those stuff. So you don't need to go too deep into detail. What you have to understand is 40% of the adjusted net bank credit, out of that, 80%, 18% has to be devoted to agricultural activities, 7.5% to micro enterprises. See, I have cut down this MSME and I have written micro enterprises only. Why? Because MSME means micro, small, and medium enterprises. But here it is not catering to, and not saying about anything about small and medium. You're talking about micro enterprises. The restriction or 7.5% lending has to be done to micro enterprises. It is silent on the contribution to small and medium enterprises. 10% has to be given to weaker section. So this is a bifurcation of the PSL, which has to be done by SCBs and foreign bankings greater than or equal to 20 branches. Now, for foreign banks less than 20 branches, they have to do this, or they have to fulfill this 40% criteria by 2020. Now, if you want to see, let's see certain figures, and let's see that there is one article which was there which said that most of the banks failed to fulfill their PSL criteria. If they exceeded, suppose in some criteria they exceeded the lending rate, or they exceeded what they had to give, but in other areas they failed. So just a second, you will be able to see it, what I want to show you, because when you see certain data, it becomes easier. So here there is one article in Business Standards. So they're saying that these are the priority sector. We had just seen the targets. The target is this: 18% in agriculture, 7.5% in micro enterprises, not whole MSME, 10% for weaker section. So here they are saying that out of these public sector bank, private sector banks, and foreign banks, so generally all these three, public, private, and foreign, all these three failed to achieve their target. See, 39.9% for public sector. Although they achieved in weaker section in agriculture, but in micro enterprises they failed. Similarly, private failed in, I think, two of them, right? And similarly, foreign also failed. So that is the basic thing. So if you see these figures, 18%, 7.5%, 10%, try to remember these areas. No need of remembering who failed and what. So 18 agriculture 18%, micro enterprise 7.5%, weaker sections 10%. That's it, dude. So that's it. We'll keep until here only in this particular video or this particular session. In the next session of economy, we'll talk about Anup Satpathy committee. We'll talk about Sunil Mehta committee. They talk about these things, right? That's it. So we'll talk about all these things. We'll talk about other areas of my notes. So be safe, stay inside, and keep on studying. Even though the officially prelims has been postponed, but you do know it will happen. It will happen by August. Very high probability. So keep on studying. Don't waste your time. If possible, try to give some time to mains also. That's it. Thank you. Be blessed.